HorrorDeconstruction.
What's up, everybody? It's the HorrorDeconstruction. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, but most likely on YouTube. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. Hit that icon of the subscription. Hit that icon of the thumbs up or the like, etc. Share this show so everyone can know. With yours Komp on this solo deconstruction for 31 days of Halloween. 31 days of horror. Today's film is Crawl. 2019. A young woman, while attempting to save her father during a Category 5 hurricane, finds herself trapped in a flooding house and must fight for her life against all alligators. Directed by Alexandre Aja, written by Michael Rasmussen and Sean Rasmussen, starring Kaya Scodelario, Barry Pepper, Morfydd Clark. Look at these names. Let me macro there. So I had heard good things about Crawl. I'm not a creature feature guy myself. Like, I don't care about giant bears, giant alligators. Although Lake Placid had a good, I think it was a crocodile alligator film. I don't know which one between those. Lake Placid was good, but it was as good because it was, strangely enough, it was written by a really high-profile writer who decided to do a weird horror movie. And so go see Lake Placid. That's a really good film and has great characters. It's like watching a series, a complete season of a series that's like smart, and then it's also, has giant alligators or crocodiles, whatever the hell is in it. So I was not really looking forward to seeing this, but I kept hearing good things, and I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And plus, Alexandre Aja is a solid director. Like, this guy did, I'd never seen the original Hills Have Eyes. I only saw the remake. And I was really into that film. Like, I couldn't believe how graphic and gory it was for the time. Not that films were really censored when it came out in 2006, but major ones that were out a little bit before that. But every other film that was out was just like really sort of boring and shit. But that was good. He also did Haute Tension, obviously High Tension, which is that French serial killer, New Wave French. He was part of that. That was a good movie. People might disagree and hate the ending, but I enjoyed it. Piranha 3D was a really good movie. Better than I thought it should have been, but that was a fun movie, and I felt pathetic that I recognized every porn star that was in that film. Because I'd be like, hey, and then I'd be like real quiet, because I'd be like, who was that? I don't know. But another thing that Alexandre Aja is he was trying to do a adaptation of anime project, but it never got off the ground. And I was really pissed off because this guy has a really good visual flair. And I think that had he been, it was called Cobra the Animation, the original. It was, an old manga and stuff like that. A really interesting Japanese, it was very like boys club type of anime with this guy who's able to turn his hand into a gun, and he has like a sexy robot sidekick. It's a weird sort of very Japanese 70s type of science fiction. And he wanted to make it, but then like America came out with their own like crappy science fiction movies that don't make any money, and then once one thing doesn't make money, then they think, oh, nobody wants to see these movies, so we won't allow it. And anyway, it sucks that he won't be allowed. So he's been kind of in horror jail for a while, just making horror films, which is fine because he actually makes them very good films, and I hope that he gets to make the movies that he wants to make, but who knows. Anyway, so with this type of film, it's a pretty solid premise of this area that this young girl and her father, they're finding that a Category 5 hurricane is coming, just like the explanation of what the movie's about. It starts flooding everything, and with this comes alligators, and alligators become quite the nuisance for everybody involved. There's some people that are trying to pillage the community. They're trying to steal from the gas station, rob and stuff like that. They get taken out by alligators. Her dad is this guy that she was going to try to find to pick up before all this happened. He's telling her to get the hell out of here, don't bother. It's Barry Pepper. Barry Pepper's a solid actor. Obviously, he was in Saving Private Ryan, and I saw him in another movie called The Painted Bird. I forget what it was called, but it was I believe it was an Italian movie, and I'm not sure, but he was in there playing another sniper in that one. So, but I can't say that I really remember other films that he's been in. But he's one of those actors that you see him in a lot of things. So the main actress Kaya Scodelario, I can't tell. I couldn't tell if she was British. I think she's British. And I think she was from a show called, she's from London. She was in a show I believe called Misfits when she was younger, and that's kind of what got her. She was also in Skin. Oh, was it Skins? Yeah, Skins. Sorry, she was in the show called Skins, and that was like about young teenagers and their sex lives, and they tried to put that in MTV, and I think they showed some guy's ass who was like 17 years old, and they tried to say it was child pornography. So they were like, "Oh God, you can't show people's buttocks on TV." Not that I'm looking forward to that, but you know how people are prudish here in the United States. And so she's over here. She's trying to make a. She's been working solidly. She sort of looks like any. She has a very certain look to her. She's a very pretty girl, but she sort of looks like a lot of actors, and I'm trying to think of who they are. But anyway, she is trying to save her father because he is caught in this flood, and now the alligators are loose. So this leads to a very tense, short film, but very solid and unrelenting, packed film of this woman trying to survive these this monstrous alligator. And the thing is, it's more than one alligator; it's two. And then there's like even baby alligators that come out at one point. And so it's a really fun exercise in popcorn, and you don't see really, and it is very ghastly, gruesome, and like graphic with its violence. But it feels like a fun throwback to seeing a big budget. Obviously the budget was low for this, but the budget was enough to not make it look ridiculous. Like the alligators, you can tell they're computer generated for the most part. They still don't know how to, I guess, get past that, uncanny valley effect for things. Like humans, they really can't do that unless they're like very far away, but even sometimes that is bad. But I guess they're fine for this. I don't know if it was completely CGI, if they used any practical stuff, but it's not so jarring. But I guess there are some times when the beasts will be pulling out of the water and their mouths move strange or something like that. But it didn't throw me off. Like I enjoyed it. I was fine. It's a bullshit movie anyway. Not that alligators don't attack people. Just hear about it in Florida. It's terrible over there. But I think that as a whole, the film really is a solid, exercise in action horror. And it's really horror because people getting eaten up by these gigantic alligators, and you graphically see them getting torn apart and stuff like that. But it really is more of an action thriller. It's the fact that it has gore in it. If they would have made this PG-13, I'm sure they probably would have sold more. But I think it did okay business. And I think that as the leads, Haley, the character, is very well portrayed by Kaya Scodelario. You believe that she is in the situation. Barry Pepper obviously is always good, and every other character that kind of swings in and out of this movie. And there are like actual injurious things that happen to lead characters, which is weird when you see in movies when people like lose an arm or something like that, and it's very graphically shown. You're just like, oh shit. And there's even, I think there's a little doggy running around here if I remember correctly. But I think it's really worth a watch if you want to just have some fun action horror stuff going on. Just check it out. It's really good. I would give it 7.5 out of 10. Trying to get to the roof of your house and those pesky damn alligators are coming to get you. And this has been the Horror Deconstruction.